yourself where you're in line with it.
Okay, I don't see it yet.
This is the head, this dark spot, and that's the fin in the back.
Okay.
So you could position yourself where you're in line with it, and you're going to aim right at the front of its head. And we're going to fire on 3. On your mark?
I'm in line with it.
Okay, aim at the tip of its head. 1, 2, 3. So you missed.
Hey guys, welcome to the Homestead. So today we are going to do some amazing things. I'm here with Papa Pepper. I've been telling some folks that we're going to be doing this video coming up, bow fishing. Every year this guy gets a mess of fish, and I'm like, hey man, I need to come out with you and put some of this stuff in the pantry. So we're going to have a fun time today. He's going to show you some crazy stuff, and we're going to do some things that a lot of people around here probably wouldn't think of doing.
Even those who are not upper class turn their nose up at some of the stuff we're going to get involved in.
Oh yeah, so stay tuned with us. We got a lot of stuff to show you. Okay, so now tell my audience what it is the deal with carp, because like most people, like I have friends who have been lifelong livers in the Ozarks. They live in the Ozarks, and they're like, you got to be kidding me to be able to eat carp. So
you know, the common carp is originally from Europe. It's a top sport fish over there and around the world. Of all the fish that have been introduced to different places, carp's like number 3. So you think about tilapia, think about other things spreading. Carp's like number 3 on the list. It's a huge food fish in a lot of places. And the amount of tons of this fish produced commercially blows every other fish combined out of the water.
I did not know that.
On a yearly basis.
Yeah.
They brought it over for a food supply. Now, a lot of people think it's trash fish. Back where I grew up in Wisconsin, they were predominantly, a lot of them in the Wisconsin River. Because of all the paper mills, we didn't eat anything out of there. But it really got, you know, a bad rap. These guys are crazy. They grow quick. They can get up to 100 pounds. This one here is probably about a 10-pounder. We're going to probably be hitting a bunch in the 5 to 10-pound range. The whole reason that I gave myself even the green light to try this fish is just reading what I read in Scripture. You read it has fins and scales, the stuff in the water, you know, all the stuff that's highly esteemed in the eyes of men, lobster and catfish and crawfish and stuff. They're not on the list of what he created for food. This is, and so is gar, which is my top fish. We'll have to get some of those later.
Awesome.
But the fillets off of here are huge. I weighed a 9-pounder the other night. Then I filleted it last night. It weighed 5 pounds filleted, which means I had 2 2-pound fillets. There's a lot of fish here. It's the reason that I no longer buy canned tuna and canned salmon.
Yeah.
This will probably put up over 2 pint jars. You get at least 2 from these fish, and it's absolutely amazing.
Now, the reason I think most people turn their nose up at this thing is that it's got a lot of bones in it.
It does. It has 2 lines of pretty much Y bones, which is why it's not a filleted fish. They consider it to be a whole fish.
And Americans want things that are easy, so is that the big turnoff?
I think so. And, you know, it's a rough fish. It's not a pan fish, so it's not like your perch or bluegills or sunfish. And it's not a game fish like your walleye or a bass. It's got the bones in there. They're little, so it's hard to kind of pick around. And the canning process makes them just like the canned salmon bones. They just crumble.
They disappear. They disappear.
And I'm also trying to pickle some, which pickled sucker this year was amazing, just like the pickled herring I kind of grew up on. Looking forward to trying my first jar of pickled carp. We're going to see how that tastes.
All right, check this out. So now, I think it was a year ago, maybe
2 years ago, 2 falls ago.
2 years ago, you gave me the cans?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I think they were 2020.
Carp tacos I gave you.
But was it? Because it was labeled 2020, I thought.
Well,
maybe it was. Maybe it was 2019. I'm not sure. All I know is that a couple years ago or a year ago, he gave me 2 pint jars of canned carp. And they said because I was like, I put them on my shelf. And I was like, I'm really interested in trying that, but so I put them up there. And the other day, because I knew we were going to be doing this, I really wanted to come out with him and do some fishing. I said, you know, I better open these things up before I really commit myself to coming out there and fishing for a whole bunch more of these things that I want to eat. So I opened it up, and I am not a tuna fan. Okay, I do not like tuna. I'm just not a tuna fan. I'm sorry. Tuna fish, tuna salad, not my cup of tea. I like salmon. I like other fish. I love trout. I love crappie fishing, bluegill. I love all that stuff. But salmon or tuna, just not my thing. But I opened this up, and it kind of tastes like tuna, but it's way better. It's like a completely different experience. I put a little bit of salt on it, and it was like I ate the whole jar in one sitting. I'm like, it was a meal for me.
Right, you're not alone in that. The past 2 people that we actually made like a tuna salad substitute out of carp, they said they liked it better than tuna salad. And I mean, tuna salad, that's almost like peanut butter and jelly. That's common. People know it.
Right.
And, you know, these guys too, it's amazing. We've got them here. They're a non-native species. So kind of like the Asian carp, which are going to be your grass carp, your big head carp, and your silver carp. They're non-native species, but they're considered invasive. These are often looked at as naturalized because they've been here long enough. They kind of carved out their own niche in the ecosystem. They are starting to pick up as far as people being anglers for them. Fly fishermen really enjoy them because they put up a good fight. They'll eat a fly. You know, these things, people call them bottom feeders, but they eat worms. They eat crawfish. They eat crickets. They eat bugs.
But they're mostly vegetarians, right? I mean,
right,
they eat a lot of
they're
vegetation.
omnivores, so they eat that stuff too. So they're just like any other fish. It's just
they have fins and scales.
Yeah, that's the deciding factor for me on that. And bow fishermen now are really picking up going after these.
Right, so here's what we got here. Let's go take a look at this.
So this is one of the most simple setups for bow fishing. You're going to have a bow, you're going to have an arrow, and you're going to have some line attached. This one just has a spool on the front, so when you shoot it, you can pull it in. There's also ones with like reels or retrievers, but this is all you really need. The reason that I have a slide here is if you tie the line through here and you pull it back, it can get tangled up, and when you try to shoot, it can fly back at you. So this slide keeps it out front when you pull it back, and then it slides as it hits the fish. These are pretty simple, pretty much sharp tip. I just sharpened them all up, and they got a couple barbs. So when it goes into the fish, it holds it tight, and then once you get it back, you can just untwist this a little bit. I got 2 hands here. When you untwist it, then this flips around backwards. So then you pull it back out of the fish.
Okay, got it.
And then you just tighten it back down for your next shot and go stick another one and pull it in.
Right, awesome.
Now this one somebody gave me years ago. I think it was 3 years back. I saw some people down at the lake shooting carp, and I'm like, wait, somebody gave me a bow. Like, I got to go try this. I think my second shot, I hit one, and I was hooked. It was so much fun, such a riot. And then I've been investing a little bit since then, so I can take out friends, so I can take out family. My kids have been sticking fish this year.
Now, yeah, I saw some of your kids. So, like, what's the youngest one of your children has stuck a carp with one of your
Monster
bows?
Truck would be 8 years old. I think he's 9 now.
Okay.
So fresh 9-year-old, he shot him. My 11-year-old shot at least 3 carp last night. She was using the little one, which I'm going to hook up with your sons. And both of these here have the AMS retriever on it. So it's an interesting bow fishing setup. Pretty much the line just comes out.
Okay.
So there's no release you got to push. So if you forget to push the release,
right,
you're not on a short string flying back at you. And then you just pull this trigger to reel it in.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
And depending on what I'm fighting with, if it's a bunch of sticks and stuff, I'll be moving towards the fish and pulling the line myself. And then when I get it taken care of, then I'll just reel it in afterwards.
Right.
But if you're in the open water, this works really good. And this is just a different type of barb here.
Right.
This one has a little sleeve. And when it goes into the fish, it pulls back and these two kick out.
Right.
So that holds the fish on place. Shove it through, pull that back, pull those in, and then you can slide it back out of the fish.
Okay, that makes sense. All right.
You want to get a good grip.
Very cool. Very cool. And so we have 3 rigs here.
Yeah.
All right.
We have 3 rigs here. So this one is powerful enough. If you shoot the fish like I think we're gonna, you'll pin them right to the ground.
Okay.
That helps. It holds them in place.
Right.
I'll let you use this one probably as long as you got it all figured out.
Yeah.
I'll use this one for backup shots.
Okay.
You shoot and miss, and one starts shooting away, I'll try to pin it still. And this one's good enough for the kids. I've used it a lot myself too, but this is one that my children like. And the one thing I found this year is when we get the fish, I made these up pretty much. I put it through a belt loop, and then I clip it onto a different belt loop. So if they really tug, they got to break 2 belt loops to get free. But I'll shove this in the gills, out the mouth, and then tie the first fish on, and then start sliding them on after that. I can keep them with me on my belt.
Right.
When I catch the fish, to make sure they don't get away, I like to grab the gills on each side and just rip all the gills out so they can no longer, breathe the oxygen that way.
Right.
It also helps them bleed out.
Right, right.
If you've got 5, 6, full-size carp thrashing on your...
Oh, yeah, that's got... each one's like 10 pounds. That's going to be, yeah.
So if you can take the fight out of them and bleed them out right away, I find it works better. And last night we filled stringers like this, I guess 4 times because we had 43 fish in about 3 hours.
Oh, man. 43 fish in how many hours?
About 3 hours. And that was with one child, one young girl, and one guy who had never even shot a bow before, much less went fishing before. But he was able to actually find and get some on his own. He had a blast.
That's amazing. Okay, so I was just in his house, and I'm not gonna take you in there right now, but when we were in there, I mean, he had like pints of fish everywhere, like as far as the eye can see, lined up, because he's been a cannon full like ever since, you know, and it's the springtime, right? It's spawning season, right?
It's the season.
Okay, so they're spawning right now. I mean, why do you do it now?
Pretty much, you can find them year round, and they can even be in iced over ponds or lakes, you know, up north. They can be fine. They can live in very low oxygen environments, but when the temperatures of the water hit up in the low 60s, they'll start spawning. They can actually spawn multiple times in the year if the weather's right. And we've had so much rain lately. I first contacted you this year because you've been waiting years to do this.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do this.
Like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I saw a day of active spawn. And then we had like 2 solid weeks of cold weather, getting down to the 40s at night, dumping rain every day. So
that's why my garden's not fully planted yet, because it's just too cold to put my tomatoes out. Now it's starting to warm up. We're going to get them out there, but this is why. I mean, yeah, he's been at it off and on.
And the cool thing, I want to be a good steward. I'm right off the lake. I can be there in 5-10 minutes. A lot of people live farther away, but if I can keep an eye on an almost daily basis when things are super easy, like all these giant fish come and they swim in the water, and sometimes it's being like that much water, and they're sticking out like that much because they're that deep. And you can walk up to them and shoot them in the head with an arrow. Like if you can get, like I said, 43 fish in 3 hours like we did last night, that beats spending weeks trying to get that many fish. And the females can put out over 250,000 eggs, and if they can spawn, you know, 3-4 times a year, they can put out 1 million eggs a year.
See, folks, the way I see this is that, yes, this might be a trash fish to some people. I get it. Okay, fine. But, you know, here's the deal. When you can this stuff and there's no bones in it, because people are like, I think they throw the flag on the bones. They're like, no, I don't want all the bones. But if you're canning it, the bones are basically disintegrated. They're gone. Yeah. I didn't find one bone that I could tell in the jar that you gave me, or the 2 jars you gave me. I didn't see one bone. And I'm sure they were in there, but they were just disintegrated because of the canning process. And so when I put that, I mean, I can put all that food on my shelf of a fish that most people would throw away and turn their nose up at. Pah!
And it's amazing too, if you think about what a pint of canned salmon costs.
Yes.
On the low end, I mean, I don't know if you could find it for $5 a pint right now. Where he could put in $800-900 worth of canned fish between tonight and canning tomorrow. And I'll tell you what, at least the first half of that process is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, yes, a lot of fun. I mean, yeah, the other part's the work of canning it, you know, cutting it up and getting it in the can, or doing the raw pack, and which we'll do, and we'll do some video on that when we get back later on. But it'll be in this video. But yeah,
you want to try some pickled fish, because that also disintegrates.
Let's go try the pickled fish.
Okay, guys, that was part 1 of our Papa Pepper adventure. You're not going to want to miss part 2. Be sure to check that out. Links in the description below for that episode, and also in the cards above. And if you're not subscribed to our channel, you make sure you do that before you leave, and his channel as well. Links in the description below. Check him out. Okay, guys, listen. Stupid should hurt. That's why it's a #1 bestseller of all of our t-shirts that we sell. Stupid should hurt. The reason there's so much stupid in the world is because we have removed the hurt from stupid. Get your shirts now, teespring.com. Links, again, below the video. You can check those out. Also, in the description box, you can check that out. Our Teespring link to get your own Stupid Should Hurt t-shirt. All right, guys. Check out the next episode. Don't miss it. See you next time at the Homestead. Bye. Hey, guys. I'm happy to introduce an American Homestead sponsor, Zervita Zeal. Now, first off, I only accept sponsors from products that I use and believe in. My family uses Zeal mainly because we want to ensure a healthy immune system. You see, it's made up of only whole food concentrates and includes no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. The included sweetener is all natural from fruit and the stevia leaf. It's gluten-free, it's vegan, and it's kosher. In 2018, my youngest son was involved in a bike accident that resulted in the surgical removal of his spleen, and that's an important part of his immune system. And because we live on a farm, you can guess that having a healthy immune system for our family is very important. Some of the included ingredients are beetroot, chicory root, turmeric, moringa, blueberries, cranberry, goji berry, milk thistle, ginseng, alfalfa, broccoli, and so much more. It's these natural ingredients that can easily be made into a powerful and tasty drink that my family can make and feel good about. So sign up and give it a try today. Every purchase you make goes to help the homestead so that we can continue to make great homesteading videos for you. Link is in the description below. Go ahead, give it a try. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. Oh, wait.